Imagine if Giyu met Muzan right at the start of the story back in episode 1. That would completely flip everything on its head, right? The whole course of Demon Slayer would be different, and I mean not just a little different, but completely off the rails. We know Giyu Tomioka as the super composed, no-nonsense water Hashira, who's always laser-focused on his duty. He's one of the strongest members of the Demon Slayer Corps, and he's all about getting things done. But what if, instead of running into Tanjiro and Nezuko, he crossed paths with the most powerful demon in existence, Muzan Kibutsuji himself? Let's dive into that idea and see how everything could have played out. First off, we need to think about Giyu's personality. He doesn't hesitate when it comes to demons. The guy's got one job: kill demons and protect humanity. He doesn't waste time or energy, and he's not the type to second-guess his decisions. So if he stumbled upon Muzan in the aftermath of the Kamado family massacre, Giyu wouldn't be standing around making small talk. He'd immediately sense something was off and prepare for battle. The fact that Muzan was there, responsible for the brutal slaughter of an innocent family, would push Giyu to attack, no questions asked. But here's the thing: Giyu is strong, but Muzan is on another level entirely. Muzan has centuries of power under his belt, and we've seen just how terrifyingly capable he is. Giyu might give it his all, but could he really take down Muzan in episode 1? Probably not. As much as we love Giyu, he's no match for Muzan at this early stage. The fight wouldn't last long, but it wouldn't be a simple Muzan wins and moves on scenario either. There's something important about Giyu, and I think Muzan would recognize it. Muzan is a strategist. He doesn't just rush into fights unless he knows he's got the upper hand. In this situation, he'd see Giyu as more than just another Demon Slayer to crush. Giyu is one of the Hashira, the strongest members of the Demon Slayer Corps. Muzan knows the Hashira are a real threat, and taking one out so early in the story would send a strong message. But what if Muzan didn't kill Giyu? What if, instead of wiping him out, he decided to manipulate the situation? Muzan has a way of getting into people's heads. He's charming, persuasive, and downright terrifying when he wants to be. Imagine Muzan in his smooth and sinister way, having a conversation with Giyu right after the massacre. He wouldn't need to fight Giyu immediately. Instead, he could plant seeds of doubt, making Giyu question everything he knows about demons. Muzan could say something cryptic, like hinting at the true scale of his power, or even suggest that the Demon Slayer Corps has no chance of defeating him. At this point, Giyu would be rattled. He's always been calm and focused, but Muzan's words would make him start to wonder if the Demon Slayer Corps is fighting a losing battle. After all, if this is the kind of demon they're up against, one who can slaughter an entire family and still appear completely unfazed, what hope do they have? Muzan could use this moment to psychologically dismantle Giyu, breaking his spirit without even laying a finger on him. Now, let's imagine what happens next. Giyu is strong-willed, but even the most disciplined warriors can be shaken by an encounter with pure evil. If Muzan had let Giyu live after their meeting, Giyu might have returned to the Demon Slayer Corps deeply troubled by what he'd seen. He would know just how dangerous Muzan is, but he'd also be haunted by the knowledge that he might not have a way to stop him. This would set a completely different tone for the series. Giyu, instead of being the stoic, unwavering fighter we know, might become more cautious, more driven by fear of what's coming. This fear could push Giyu to act differently. Maybe he would train Tanjiro and the others more intensely, knowing that Muzan is a far greater threat than they realize. Maybe he'd push for the Demon Slayer Corps to act sooner, mobilizing their forces before they're ready. Either way, Giyu's encounter with Muzan would completely alter his mindset, and by extension, it would change how the entire Demon Slayer Corps operates. But there's another possibility here. What if Giyu didn't survive his encounter with Muzan? This is the darker outcome, but it's worth considering. If Muzan decided to eliminate Giyu right at the start, it would have been a massive blow to the Demon Slayer Corps. Giyu is one of the Hashira, and losing him so early on would leave a huge gap in their ranks. Not only that, but without Giyu, Tanjiro's journey would take a completely different path. Remember, it's Giyu who spares Nezuko and sends Tanjiro to Urokudaki for training. If Giyu had been killed by Muzan, no one would have been there to save Nezuko or guide Tanjiro in the right direction. In fact, without Giyu, the Demon Slayer Corps might have seen Nezuko as nothing more than a dangerous demon that needs to be exterminated. Tanjiro would be left without a mentor, without a way to train, and without the support he needs to protect his sister. In this scenario, Tanjiro might have died alongside his family, or he and Nezuko could have been hunted down by the Demon Slayer Corps as enemies. The Kamado siblings' unique bond, which is such a core part of the story, wouldn't have had a chance to develop. The entire premise of Demon Slayer as we know it would fall apart, and Muzan would be one step closer to achieving his goal of demon domination without much resistance. Now, let's take it even further. What if instead of killing Muzan, Muzan decided to turn him into a demon? It's not outside the realm of possibility. Muzan loves finding strong individuals and turning them into demons to serve him. Giyu, with his exceptional skills as a swordsman, would make an incredibly powerful demon. Muzan might see the potential in Giyu and decide to corrupt him, using him as a tool to wipe out the Demon Slayer Corps from within. If Giyu were turned into a demon, it would completely shift the dynamics of the story. Giyu, once a symbol of hope and strength for the Demon Slayer Corps, would now be their enemy. Tanjiro, who looks up to Giyu, would be devastated by the betrayal. The rest of the Demon Slayer Corps would be thrown into chaos, unsure of how to deal with one of their own becoming the very thing they swore to destroy. Demon Giyu would be a formidable foe, combining his mastery of the water-breathing techniques with the raw power of a demon. He could become one of Muzan's most trusted lieutenants, hunting down his former comrades without mercy. The Demon Slayer Corps would be forced to face the terrifying reality that one of their strongest fighters is now their greatest enemy. And if Tanjiro had to confront Giyu in battle, it would be an incredibly emotional and heartbreaking moment. Tanjiro, who believes in the goodness of people, would struggle with the idea of fighting someone he respects, knowing that Giyu might still have a trace of humanity left inside him. But let's say that Giyu, even as a demon, retains some of his human qualities. He's always been a bit of a loner, and even if Muzan had turned him, there's a chance that Giyu wouldn't fully submit to Muzan's control. We know from characters like Nezuko and Tamayo that demons aren't necessarily bound to Muzan's will forever. If Giyu had been turned into a demon, he might eventually rebel against Muzan, using his newfound strength to fight back from within. This could lead to an even more complex story. Giyu, struggling with his demon nature, might become an unlikely ally in the fight against Muzan. He could work in secret to sabotage Muzan's plans, all while battling his own inner demons, both literally and figuratively. This would make for some incredibly intense and emotional moments, as Giyu tries to reconcile his human past with his new identity as a demon. And think about the ripple effect this would have on the rest of the characters. Tanjiro, who always seeks to save rather than kill, would be determined to find a way to bring Giyu back. He'd search for a cure, just like he's doing for Nezuko, but this time it would be even more personal. The bond between Tanjiro and Giyu, already built on mutual respect, would be even deeper as Tanjiro fights to save him from the darkness. In this scenario, Giyu's transformation into a demon could actually be the key to defeating Muzan. As a demon with insider knowledge of Muzan's plans, Giyu could become the Demon Slayer Corps' greatest asset. He'd know Muzan's weaknesses, his strategies, and how to counter them. But this wouldn't come without a cost. Giyu would constantly be fighting against his own demonic urges, and the longer he stays a demon, the harder it would be for him to maintain his humanity. In the end, whether Giyu lives, dies, or becomes a demon, his encounter with Muzan in episode 1 would have massive consequences for the entire story. Muzan is a force of pure evil, and any direct confrontation with him would leave a lasting mark on anyone who survives it. Giyu, with his strength, intelligence, and unwavering sense of duty, would either rise to the challenge or fall victim to the overwhelming power of Muzan. No matter how you slice it, Giyu meeting Muzan in episode 1 would be a game changer. The Demon Slayer Corps would be forced to reckon with the fact that their strongest warriors are still no match for the ultimate demon. And for Giyu, this encounter will be the start of a new chapter in his life, one filled with doubt, fear, and possibly even redemption. Speaking of redemption, there's another wild theory that dives into what might happen if all the demons turned against Muzan. Could they really band together to take down the one who created them? Well, that's a video for another story. In the meantime, click on this cool anime video that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click it.